Imagine a predator, cunning, meticulous, he leaves no trace. A ghost, he moves in the shadows. Across state lines, a trail of devastation follows. Undiscovered for years. His name is Israel Keyes, a name that chills investigators to the bone. He is a serial killer, unlike any other. His story is a descent into darkness, a journey into the mind of a monster. Israel Keyes was unassuming, just another face in the crowd, a devoted father, a reliable contractor. He lived a double life. Beneath the surface, a darkness festered, a sinister secret. He craved control, power over life and death. No one suspected, no one knew the truth. Israel Keyes was no impulsive killer. He was methodical, a planner. He traveled the country, burying kill kits. Weapons and tools lay hidden, waiting. He chose his victims randomly. No pattern, impossible to track. He enjoyed the game, the hunt. He was a phantom, a nightmare come to life. Israel Keyes appeared ordinary, but behind his eyes, a storm brewed, a darkness festered. He fought to control it, to keep it hidden. He lived a double life. By day, a construction worker, a father. By night, something else entirely, something sinister, a predator stalking the shadows. He craved the thrill of the hunt, the power over life and death. He believed he was smarter, better than everyone else. What drove Israel Keyes? What turned him into a monster? Some whisper of a troubled childhood, a darkness that took root early. Others point to his time in the military, the skills he learned, the detachment he cultivated. Whatever the reason, the monster grew. Stronger, more cunning. He honed his skills, learned to blend in, to appear normal. All the while the darkness festered, waiting for the moment to break free. For Israel Keyes, it was all a game, a twisted, macabre game. He was the hunter, the world, his hunting ground. He relished the control. He meticulously planned each kill, studied his victims, exploited their weaknesses. He enjoyed their fear, their desperation. He was a master manipulator, a puppeteer pulling the strings. He believed he was invincible, untouchable. Israel Keyes sought no specific victim, no pattern, no type. This made him unpredictable. A ghost, he chose his victims at random. Opportunity, that was his guide. He watched, he waited, he chose his moment. He preferred strangers, no connection, easier to disappear. He stalked his prey, a predator in the night. No one was safe, no one suspected. Section 2, the cross-country killer. Israel Keyes traveled constantly, state to state, a nomad of death. He left a trail of bodies, scattered, unconnected. He buried his kill kits, hidden in plain sight, national parks, forests, waiting for their moment. He was a phantom, here one day, gone the next, leaving behind only sorrow and unanswered questions. Section 3, a calculated capture. Israel Keyes grew bolder, more confident. He made a mistake, a fatal error. He used Samantha Koenig's ATM card. Multiple states, a trail. The FBI watched. They waited, closing in. Keyes had no idea. He was being hunted. His arrogance would be his downfall. The game was almost over. Section 4, no remorse. The FBI caught Israel Keyes. A routine traffic stop. His arrogance crumbled, replaced with defiance. He confessed. To 8 murders, at least. He showed no remorse, no guilt, only pride. He enjoyed recounting his crimes, the details, the pain he inflicted. He reveled in the horror. He was a monster, a predator, and he had been caught. Anchorage, Alaska, a city blanketed in snow, February 1st, 2012. Samantha Koenig, 18, worked at a coffee kiosk. Her shift was ending. The night was young. A customer approached. Israel Keyes. He ordered an Americano. Samantha smiled. A routine interaction, but something was wrong. Keyes slipped on a mask. He pulled out a gun. Samantha froze. Terror flooded her eyes. Her world shattered. He forced her from the kiosk into his vehicle. She vanished into the night. Another victim claimed. Keyes took Samantha to a secluded cabin. He had planned this, prepared for it. He kept her captive, tortured her, toyed with her. He photographed her, humiliated her. He wanted to break her spirit, to exert his dominance, to feel the power. Keyes was in control. He set his plan in motion, a twisted game of cat and mouse. He was the predator, Samantha the prey. Keyes believed he was invincible. He made a mistake. A fatal error. He used Samantha's debit card, multiple ATMs, across state lines, a trail. The FBI tracked the transactions. They were closing in. Keyes, oblivious, continued his spree, his arrogance blinding him. He felt no remorse, no guilt, only excitement. He was playing a dangerous game, and he was winning, or so he thought. The game was over. The hunter was now the hunted. A routine traffic stop in Lufkin, Texas, March 13th, 2012. Israel Keyes behind the wheel, a white Ford Focus. The officer asked for license and registration. Keyes, outwardly calm, complied, but inside panic. The mask began to slip. The officer noticed something. Unease. A search of the vehicle. A turning point. The beginning of the end. The officer's flashlight illuminated the car's interior. Samantha Koenig's debit card, her cell phone, disguises. The evidence was overwhelming. Keyes was arrested, taken into custody. The interrogation began, a battle of wits, a descent into the mind of a monster. He taunted the investigators, confessed to other murders, details chilling. He controlled the narrative, or so he thought. Keyes' confessions were a window into his depravity. He described his methods, his victims, his complete lack of remorse. He enjoyed the killing, the power. He spoke of more victims, unidentified, scattered across the country, their families still searching for answers. He would never give them the closure they craved. Keyes took his secrets to the grave. He died in his cell, suicide. A final act of defiance. He left behind a note, cryptic, disturbing, but no answers, just more questions. Israel Keyes' death was as calculated as his life. He chose his moment. December 2nd, 2012, inside his jail cell, he took his own life. A final act of control. He left behind a suicide note. Pages filled with ramblings, disturbing drawings, a glimpse into madness, but no confessions, no answers. He took his secrets to the grave, the locations of his victims, their identities, his motives, all lost. Israel Keyes left a trail of devastation. Families shattered, lives forever changed, the fear lingered, a shadow over countless communities. He became a ghost story, a boogeyman, a reminder that evil can lurk anywhere, behind any face. The fear was irrational, yet undeniable. He forced people to confront a terrifying truth. Monsters are real, and sometimes they are impossible to stop. Section 3. Echoes of Unsolved Crimes. Keyes' death did not bring closure. It left behind more questions than answers. How many more victims? Where are they buried? Will they ever be found? The FBI continues to investigate, connecting the dots, following every lead, hoping to bring some measure of peace to grieving families. But the truth remains elusive, lost in the vastness of Keyes' crimes. A chilling reminder that some mysteries are never solved. Section 1. The monster next door. Israel Keyes shattered the illusion of safety. He was not the kind of monster that hides in the dark corners of our imagination. No, he was far more terrifying because he was real, and he walked among us. He reminded us that monsters don't always lurk in the shadows. They can be the person standing next to you, the one you least suspect. Keyes was a master of disguise, blending seamlessly into society. They hide in plain sight. They are the ones who smile at you in the morning, who hold the door open for you, who share a laugh with you. They are the ones who make you feel safe, only to betray that trust in the most horrific ways. They are our neighbors, co-workers, even family members. The people we think we know, but do we really? Keyes' story forces us to question the very fabric of our social interactions. How well do we know the people around us? Keyes' ability to compartmentalize, to separate his dark desires from his outward appearance, is chilling. He was a man who could wear many masks, each one more convincing than the last. His duality was his greatest weapon. It speaks to a profound capacity for evil, an evil that is not just a part of him, but a part of the world we live in, an evil that can be hidden behind a friendly face, a warm smile, a kind gesture, an evil that defies easy explanation. It is a reminder that the world is not always as it seems, that beneath the surface of our everyday lives there can be darkness waiting to emerge. He was a predator who exploited our trust, our belief in the inherent goodness of humanity. He used our own instincts against us, turning our sense of security into a weapon. He shattered that belief, leaving behind a residue of fear and uncertainty. His actions have left a scar on our collective consciousness, a reminder that sometimes the real monsters are the ones we never see coming. Section 2. Vigilance and Awareness. In the wake of Keyes' crimes, we are left with a heightened sense of vulnerability. The darkness that once seemed distant now feels much closer, casting a shadow over our daily lives. The fear of the unknown, the lurking danger has become a part of our reality, a realization that evil can touch our lives at any moment. It is a sobering thought, one that forces us to reconsider our sense of security. The comfort of our homes, the familiarity of our neighborhoods, all seem to be under threat. This awareness, though unsettling, is crucial for our survival, but we cannot allow fear to paralyze us. Instead, we must channel this fear into a force for good. We must transform our anxiety into action, our dread into determination. By doing so, we reclaim our power and refuse to be victims of circumstance. We must remain vigilant, aware of our surroundings, trust our instincts. Vigilance is not about living in constant fear, but about being prepared and proactive. It means paying attention to the details, noticing the unusual, and being ready to act when necessary. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Our instincts are powerful tools, honed by evolution to protect us from danger. We must listen to them, trust them, and act on them. Reporting suspicious activity, avoiding risky situations, and staying alert can make all the difference. We must teach our children about personal safety, instilling in them the knowledge and skills they need to protect themselves. This education should start early and be reinforced regularly. It is not about instilling fear, but about empowering them with the confidence to handle difficult situations. Empower them to speak out against suspicious behavior. Encourage open communication where children feel safe to express their concerns and ask questions. This dialogue is essential for their development and safety. We must support law enforcement agencies in their efforts to track down predators like Keyes. Their work is challenging and often thankless, but it is vital for our safety. By providing them with the resources and cooperation they need, we can help them protect our communities. By working together, we can create a safer world. Community involvement is key. When we look out for one another, share information and support each other, we build a network of safety. Together, we can stand strong against the threats that seek to divide us. Vigilance and awareness are not just individual responsibilities, but collective ones. By fostering a culture of alertness and mutual support, we can ensure a brighter, safer future for all. Section 3. Unanswered Questions. Israel Keyes took many secrets to his grave. His life was a labyrinth of darkness, and his death left a void filled with mysteries. Each unanswered question is a thread in a web of horror that continues to ensnare the minds of those who seek the truth. The true extent of his crimes may never be known. Investigators have pieced together fragments of his malevolent acts, but the full picture remains elusive. The empty courtroom stands as a silent witness to the justice that was never fully served. The police evidence board, cluttered with missing person photos, is a stark reminder of the lives disrupted and the families left in limbo. The families of his victims may never find the answers they seek. Their grief is a constant companion, a shadow that follows them through their days and haunts their nights. The memorials and vigils are not just acts of remembrance, but desperate pleas for closure. The photograph clutched in trembling hands is a symbol of love lost and questions that may never be answered. The thought of his undiscovered victims haunts us, their stories untold, their voices silenced. Each abandoned house, each desolate landscape is a potential graveyard of secrets. The police tape fluttering in the wind is a silent testament to the horrors that may lie just beyond our sight. The fog that blankets these scenes is a metaphor for the obscured truths that we may never uncover. The lack of closure is agonizing. It is a wound that never heals, a pain that never fades. The locket held tightly in a trembling hand is a token of a loved one lost, a reminder of the life that was cruelly taken away. The empty swing set in the deserted park is a poignant symbol of innocence lost and the void left behind. It amplifies the horror of his crimes. Each crime scene photo is a snapshot of terror, a moment frozen in time that speaks volumes of the suffering endured. The police interview room, with its stark walls and harsh lighting, is a place where the echoes of his confessions still linger. The distressed eyes of those who have come face to face with his evil tell a story of unimaginable horror. We are left to grapple with the unsettling reality that some evil is simply beyond comprehension. The dark alleyways and flickering streetlights are not just physical spaces, but metaphors for the dark corners of the human psyche where such malevolence resides. The swirling smoke is a visual representation of the confusion and fear that envelops us as we try to make sense of the senseless. That some monsters walk among us, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and unfathomable pain. The shadowy figure on the deserted street is a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most ordinary of places. The faded missing person flyer is a testament to the passage of time and the enduring pain of those left behind. The lone figure standing under the streetlight is a symbol of the isolation and despair that comes with the search for answers that may never come.